this video we're going to continue with the some more of the drafting commands in DraftSite. So I'm going to open up DraftSite, and I'm going to open up our prototype drawing. And so before I proceed with the next command, one of the things I wanted to mention one more thing about a polyline. If I draw a polyline on the screen like this, this is a polyline. I executed the PL command and just drew it on the screen. And then say I just execute the L command for line, just a regular line, let it snap to the end of the polyline. You know, we have two entities here on the screen. This one's a polyline, this one's not. If I issue the p-edit command or the polyline edit command, which the shortcut's PE, and I select the polyline, then I have these options here to join. So I can join this, and then I can join this, and hit escape, and that works. It's now one entity. So what happened was, when these two joined, this entity here, what was the regular line, it inherited the properties from this entity right here. Okay, so if I erase that and I I draw just a regular line, this is just a regular line, and then I draw a polyline, let it snap to the end, and then I go to issue the p-edit command. Well, you can see here it's asking me if I want to turn this into a polyline because it's just a regular line, and in order for this line to be joined to this line, you know, it has to be a polyline. It can't inherit the properties from this one because you've selected this one first. So I'm just going to type in Y for yes, and then I can select J to join, and join those two entities, and now it's one entity. So yeah, I just wanted to mention that because if you find yourself drawing both lines and polylines and you run into that issue and you see that it's asking you to turn it into a polyline, go ahead and turn it into one, and then you can join the two lines together. It doesn't even necessarily have to be a line. It could be, you know, it could be an arc. So let's do that. So if you come over here, you can see you can draw these. This is your drawing toolbar here. You can draw an arc here. If you come down here and look, when I hover over, the command is arc. So we should be able to just type in ARC down here. It's asking me for a start point. If I select there, select the next point and the next point, so we have our arc on the screen. Now, this is not a polyline. This has the same properties as what a regular line would have. Okay, so in other words, if I click on it and come over here, there's nowhere to set the width. You remember the width was one of the properties that you could set on a polyline. So if you type in, the way you convert it to a polyline is just type in p-edit or PE, select on it, and it asks you down here, it asks you if you want to turn it into one. Yes. So now it's a polyline. If we select it and look over here, well, now we have our attributes or our properties to set on that, and we can give it a width if we want, 0.1. There we go. So you can see it's wider now. What I wanted to talk about was the fillet command, because I use this command a ton when designing my track, the actual track layout, not necessarily the bench work or anything, but the actual track. So the good thing with the fillet command is it fits the arc in between the two tangents for you. And what I mean by that is, well, let's do a arc in here first. So we have, this is tangent 1 on this side, this is tangent 2 on this side. So if I type in F for fillet and I want to give it a radius, type in R so I can specify my radius, and let's leave it at the default of 10. Okay, so there's my radius. Again, these were all polylines. They're polylines, so it kept it as one entity. So what I mean by tangent is you've got a smooth transition coming in from tangent 1 into the arc. and then exiting the arc, you still have the smooth transition tangent too. So you wouldn't have something that looks like this. You wouldn't have like a, you wouldn't have like a tangent line and then have an arc, you know, that looks something like this. And this, I'm going to exaggerate this just so you can see what I'm talking about. But as you can see, that's not, you know, that's not a smooth transition into the arc here. But the fillet command automatically does that for you, and the reason it does that for you is because it takes this as a tangent and this is the tangent, and well, we know that a tangent to a circle or to an arc is 90 degrees off the arc's radius point, or the circle's radius point. So this angle is 90 degrees and this angle is 90 degrees. So if I do a list command on that, it should be 10 feet, because remember we specified the radius is 10 feet. So that's why I use the fillet command a ton. It's easy to use. So you know, like I did here, you know, when I have the when I'm laying out track, you know, I'll come through and I'll just start drawing a bunch of tangents, you know, however I want them to go. Then I'll come in here and I'll just use the fillet command, and we'll set the radius on this first one to, how about 20? There we go. We'll set the radius on this next one to I don't know, we'll say 40 feet. And then maybe this is where the room actually turns, so you know, we want to stay, I'm working in HO scale for my model railroad, so you know, I don't want any radius less than, I mean, ideally 24. I'd be willing to go to 20 in certain situations, so I'm going to keep it at 24, which is 2 feet, 24 inches, which is 2 feet. So I'm going to type in R here and specify 2 feet. Oops. Let's see, fillet radius 2. There we go. Yeah, I guess it was. It's just so, but anyway, so I mean, you can see that it's not a good design, but I'm just trying to give you guys an idea of, you know, what I do. So moving on to the next command, I'm going to erase that. So moving on to the next command, let's see, we talked about circle, which is C. You know, down here it's asking you to specify radius. If you wanted to, you know, specify the diameter, well, that's your other option. You type in D. So the diameter for a circle with a radius of 2 feet is going to be 4 feet, right? So we type in 4, and then come in here and click on it and look over here in our properties window. Well, it's telling you the radius is 2 and the diameter is 4. Another command to use as far as so we talked about trim, I think, already. Another good command to know is offset. So if I draw a line, polyline, and I want to offset this line to this side's 2 feet, so I just type in O for offset and specify my distance, which is 2 feet. There we go, we offset it 2 feet. If I come in here and dimension that, DA for dimension aligned, select the first line, the second line, well, there we go, it's 2 feet. So if you want to pan around on the screen, push down your mouse wheel or your middle mouse button. You can see that little hand pops up, and just keep it held down and you can pan around on the screen. If you notice down here, it's displaying coordinates. So I mean, if you wanted to plot something up by coordinates, you could start, the line command, so we'll type in PL and it's asking you for a start point. Well, if you want to start at coordinate 0, 0, 0, so I'll type in 0, 0, comma, if I can see the comma on my keyboard. There we go. Whoop. 0, 0. Well, let me try that again. Sorry guys, I have my num lock turned off. 0, 0. There we go. So it snapped to the 0, 0 coordinate. See, as I'm getting closer to 0, 0, this is getting closer to 0, 0. Then if I wanted to go, up the y-axis 10 units, on here that you specify the x coordinate first, then the y coordinate. So if we're not moving in the x plane, we just type in 0. But we're going to move in the y plane up. We're going to move in the y plane up 10 units. It'll be 0, 10. There we go. And so escape out of that, erase that, or the ortho command. So down here where you see, I don't know what kind of symbol that is, but that turns ortho on and off, or you can hit the function at 8 key on your keyboard. And what ortho does is, like right now, I'm able to draw lines and kind of like any angles. Control Z to undo all that. If I have ortho turned on, and when I go to draw lines, I can only draw straight up and down or side to side. And this actually comes in use when we get ready to plot up the boundaries for our layout or the perimeter of our room, which I plan on starting that in the next video. So yeah, again, if you're in the middle of the command and you don't want that, just come in here and just left click it, turn it off, turn it back on. So if I wanted to draw, say I am drawing up a line, say I'm drawing up one of the walls in my room, I type in PL and I just select anywhere on the screen, I have my ortho command on. If I just start the line going this way, so like I wanted to draw a wall going from here to here 10 feet, well, if I just start the line going that way and just type in the value of 10 and hit enter, well, it put it in there. If I wanted to go up, say my wall going up this way is, I don't know, 15 feet, just start the line going up that way. Don't click anything, just move your mouse to where the line is directed that way and just type in 15, the length. Coming back down or coming to the left, we'll type in 10. Say coming back down, we're going to type in 8. And then we want to come over this way, say our room's L-shaped, we want to come over this way, I don't know, 10 more feet. We want to come down this way, I don't know, let's see, we went up this 15, right? So I guess if we come back down 7, and that'll put us back to where we started. Actually, I would just, if that's one wall, I would just grab it. Remember the grip edit command. I'm going to turn ortho off. Remember the grip edit. Grab it, stretch it over, and just connect it. And if you click on that, it gives you the perimeter of the room, which is 70 feet. Okay, so yeah, in the next video we'll start looking at more at we'll start actually talk more about actually modeling the railroad and getting started, and also getting started on prototyping and compression, compressing your model railroad. So until then guys, we'll see you in the next video.